Hey everyone, welcome back to Wedding Talk. My name is Peter.
And my name is Nina.
And today we're going to be talking about wedding stress.
Wedding stress.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
There's definitely some stress that can occur.
There's always stress in some way.
There's stress in life.
There is stress in life, especially nowadays. We move so fast, but...
What is it that makes the bride and groom or people that stressed out, especially about the wedding?
Well, personally, I think it's because people have a certain idea in their head. Like when you watch home improvement shows and you're watching them on TV and you see somebody remodel their kitchen and you get to see this in the before and after, and in 20 minutes you get to see a whole renovation, but they don't really show you really what's happening and there's all the little intricate things that they have to do to lay the foundation.
All the challenges that they had to
they had to overcome, things like that. They just show you what's entertaining, and at the end they make it look very easy. So it makes it look like a wedding can come together very easy, like a party you have at your house, but really there's a lot more to it than that.
I think expectation, listen, if you're going to focus on something, focus on it's going to be great. Everyone's going to have a great time. But sometimes I think, brides and grooms, they think, well, what if I slip in? What if I embarrass myself? Or what if my dress rips? Or, what if I get stuff all over myself? Or what if, what if things are great? Yeah. What if people are happy? What if everybody enjoys themselves? These are the things that you want. And also be mindful of, the competing interests that maybe somebody might say, well, oh, this happened at their wedding. So, you don't want that to happen at your wedding and so forth. These are stresses that don't exist. They're just, ideas that people are coming up with, and trying to protect you and help you. But in the end, they can cause that little bit of stress. So be mindful of the information that you're getting. And this is the reason why we're putting this information out there, so then you can have the expectation. We had one couple, and if I can quickly just mention this, right from the very beginning of the communication with this bride and groom and this family, it felt like it was the end of the reception, because they were so happy, they were so grateful, they were so joyous, they were thinking about everything, and it was almost like they were magically willing this incredible party. And what happened at their reception was nothing short of incredible, because it was absolutely fantastic. So
they didn't expect anything to go wrong.
They didn't expect anything to go wrong.
Yeah, there's so much power in that. Just in life in general, people talk about that, right? Just the expectation of setting yourself up like this is going to be a great day today. And most of the time, if you think that, it actually will be a great day. But if you think, oh, this is going to be a bad day, then you may will it to be so. So just, you got to be careful about that. I think
that's too many cooks in the kitchen?
I think that happens all the time. I think it depends on, a lot of the times people, if the bride and groom aren't paying for everything by themselves, they feel, is it really my decision, or is it my parents' decision, whoever may be paying for this wedding?
And it may be. And it may be a combination.
It may be.
And that's okay.
It may be a little bit of compromise, But what I think people forget, and they have to kind of remember, is at the end of the day, the wedding would not be happening if it wasn't for the bride and groom. So at the end of the day, even though you may have to compromise a little bit here, compromise a little bit there, it really should be a day about that bride and groom, and it really should focus on the love between them two and bringing together two families, right? So I think that if we forget about that, that's like the magic of everything, right? Don't forget about that.
I think it's remembering where you are, and we do this all the time, especially during some of the speeches. I'm getting a little choked up right now just thinking about the fact that when we're there and we're hearing a speech that's really heartfelt, you're there, people are pouring out their soul to the bride and groom, and there's so much love in the air. And I think that if these are the things that we focus on, these are the things that you put in your mindset, it's really incredible, because it's such a magical time. It's one of the happiest times for a couple to ever have.
That's right. And I think one way to alleviate that stress from a bride or groom is with a little bit of organization. And of course, any good wedding planner or coordinator is going to tell you that. Your venue would tell you that. And it doesn't matter if you have a planner or if you don't. It's really kind of meeting the deadlines you need to meet, so that, let's say you have to get a final head count to your venue for meals or whatever the case may be, respect everybody's time so that they can all be, the team that you've gathered for this event can be all organized on their end. So all you have to do is walk in and actually enjoy yourself, which is the whole point. You're doing it, right? So you can actually enjoy it. But I find a lot of people, you know, they're still till the last minute getting things together, when really sometimes you just have to make some decisions and say, you know, this is the final count. Instead of doing it next week or waiting till the week of the wedding, don't wait till the week of the wedding.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Get it over with and tweak it as you go.
Absolutely.
Don't put everything off to the last minute.
Get some framework down, and then.
And that framework should be simple, don't you think? I mean,
it should be simple.
Keep the whole thing simple, because it doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah.
And if you try to keep it simple and just look at, you know, the big items that you need to do in terms of the planning or in terms of the timeline, then it's going to make things a whole lot smoother for you, instead of having every detail down to the minute. I mean, we've seen some timelines where it's like 7:02 we're doing this, and 7:17 we're doing that. Listen, it's never going to be 7:02. It'll never be 7:17. Just say 7 o'clock and just say 7:30. Okay, and then
it's the bigger chunks. It's the bigger chunks, because I will say a lot of the times people say, well, it's going to be 7:03, 7:05, whatever it may be, but then somebody has to go to the washroom, right? So it's not always what's happening on that side. I think the vendors are prepared and ready. It's usually what happens with real life, you know. The flower girl throws a fit and doesn't want to do the grand entrance, so we got to get her somewhere with another grandparent somewhere. So, you know, these things happen all the time, and that's real life. So you got to allot some time, and you got to be willing to go with the flow. You know, I think a lot of the brides, most brides don't wear a watch on their wedding day, and they try to have their phone in a purse with maybe the maid of honor or somebody else. And I think that's a great thing. And every once in a while, I'll see a bride with a watch, and I think, I thought she's really concerned about that time, but she's not enjoying herself, right? So that's something that, you know, don't wear a watch. Don't worry about your phone. Let other people worry about that, right?
Right.
That's why you hire professionals. That's why you spend money to have somebody else there. Otherwise, you could do it in your backyard. And
be in the moment.
That's the way it is, right?
That's right. So let's recap a little bit. Why do people get so stressed out? Well, I think some of the reasons is there are competing interests, and you're focusing on all the things that maybe cannot go right. Don't watch some of the shows that are showing you, you know, maybe somebody's bad experience. Have the great experience for yourself. And most importantly, talk to your spouse-to-be. And that's the most important thing. Spend time with each other and coordinate a little bit of time during the reception just to sneak away and sit back and take it all in. It's very important.
That's right. And we talked about that helps you to remember what the day is actually about, which is the bride and groom. So remember that. And of course, organization and keeping it simple, you know, and nice and tight and small, and put it all together, you know, have your reception timeline. If it's 10 pages, it's too long. If it's 4 pages, it's too long. Really, reception should be 1 page, and a ceremony should be 1 page. And even the cocktail hour can even get stuck at the top of the reception thing. So that's just something to keep in mind from people who have been doing weddings for over 10 years. So remember those tips, and we'll talk to you next time.
That's Wedding Talk with Pete and Nina. You guys have a great night.
Bye.
See ya.